All right, how is everyone? Listen, it was January 24th of 2011, Gulfport, Mississippi. James Rodgers, who's in Mississippi State Penitentiary right now. Let's see, that's his picture there, and he is in Mississippi State Penitentiary. So anyway, back on January 24th, 2011, he's at his castle, his home. He's there with his son. I think his girlfriend Megan Taylor was there, and his son Jesse, and I think Jesse's girlfriend Bridget was there. And Megan was over there, and she had an ex-boyfriend. He's on all this dope and stuff and meth, and it's really affecting him psychologically. You know what I mean? Making wrong decisions, and anyway, so Megan's staying over there away from him. Well, Jesse calls, not Jesse, Clinton Jackson calls. Okay, Clinton Jackson is Megan Taylor's ex-boyfriend. He calls, and he's talking about, let's see, it's in this report here. So I think it was on January 24th, 2011. Rodgers at his home in Gulfport, Mississippi, along with Megan Taylor, Jesse Rodgers, and Bridget Waller. And Taylor received a phone call from Clinton Jackson, a prior boyfriend. Okay. And anyway, he calls, he's upset, and he's saying something about some kind of picture that was took of her car at his house or something. And so about 30 minutes after this phone call, they're sitting there probably wondering, what's he talking about, man? 30 minutes later, he shows up, and he comes to the house and knocks on the door. And James Rogers' son, answers the door, and James told him not to let him inside. So Jesse, the son, took him out and said, "Come on, man, get in your car and leave." James was telling him to leave, right? So while escorting Jackson in his car, uh, Jackson's mad and shouting he wouldn't leave until he resolved this matter. And you know, Jesse told him, Clinton, look, man, I'm gonna call the police if you don't leave. So, you know, Jackson exited his car and began hitting Jesse. So James is in the house looking at this. Now he's in imminent danger himself because this dude's, assaulting him. Now he's in imminent feels, that his son's safety is jeopardized, because this guy is strung out on meth and all this other stuff. He's unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. And, they got into a fight and began fighting inside the driver's side door of Jackson's car. Jesse testified that he saw a knife on the console of Jackson's car, but never saw Jackson attempt to grab it. But Jesse began to back away from Jackson just as Rogers emerged from the house. So James is coming out of his house on his property. This dude's out there assaulting his son. He's got a knife on the dash, but Rogers is carrying a gun. It's his gun. And, according to Jesse, Clinton Jackson steps toward Rogers, who's already in fear. And so he turns and shoots him. Okay. And, you know, Jackson, I guess, was 10 to 14 feet from Rodgers, according to this in this court report right here. But anyway, later, they end up going and they use Paul McGarry, who is the forensic pathologist. He's sort of like Stephen Hain, if not worse. And they start getting into all of these deals about trajectories and angles, and he's using equipment that's known not to be used when he's doing the testing. He was using a metal rod to do a bullet trajectory, and they use ceramic rods. So if a ceramic rod can't bend, it'll break if it's not straight. Or a metal one can be bent, but you should have seen all of these angles, man. And they went in and manipulated jury instructions and all this. I mean, y'all know down in Mississippi prison, y'all know that 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 it is not going right. But Mr. James Rodgers down there, he's done 10. Now, dude comes off his house, he's messed up on meth, he's doing all this, he gets shot, he dies. Okay, but because he was sentenced between 1995 and 2014, the law at that time read that if you were sentenced for murder, you were not eligible for parole. But these people did not know that when they got sentenced. They thought they would have a parole date and realized that they are in there with life without parole. Okay, so this is a class of people between 1995 and 2014. However, people prior to or after that date have done things that are worse or whatever, and I mean, they are being paroled. So why is there two sets of rights in the Mississippi prison for people? You got this group of people, okay, because they done it at this time. What did that time period have to do with the law? Okay. There was nothing in the law that said you can write this at this time, you know. So this needs to be spread evenly across the board. And, I've even sit here and I've written House bill proposals. That's just a handwritten draft that I would type up, getting ready to try to address some of this legislative stuff. But like Rodgers, man, they go down there, they use this whack job medical examiner, man, and then they manipulate the jury instructions, say he's not in danger. I mean, it's pretty simple. Any reasonable person would say, I'm sitting at home, this girl's had a bad experience, so, yeah, her and her friends staying here. We're just trying to let them have a place to stay. This dude comes over there, he's flipped out on ice. He's beating my son up at my house. I didn't invite none of this. He called and done it all. And so then he gets shot because I feel an imminent danger for myself and my son. And he's done 10 years and he's sentenced in between this. So what does he do? Like dying down prison because of that? I don't think so. Not when the facts are reviewed, and they can be reviewed further, you know. And there's a lot of stuff, but what it is this: the media or some type of attention needs to be brought to these cases. And that's what I'm trying to do. And those guys, I know them guys in Mississippi know about this dude right here. His name's Stephen Hain. Okay. And man, here's another thing. Just like with Stephen Hain, okay, they go in and they know, okay, they know if you research it that Stephen Hain screwed all these cases up. They know he's a crook. They know all that. Okay, you can look it up and fact check it. But they haven't done anything about it, man. And so here's another thing. That goes back to these damn local people you're electing, you know. It's certainly clear that in Mississippi legislature and the prison system that the wolf is in the sheep's pen, you know. And you got the legislative chairs, okay, and you got Kevin Haran, okay. He is the chair of the corrections committee, okay, and you have the chair of corrections, Juan Barnett. He is a senator. Okay, and then you got some other guys writing bills too. You look at Banks, and there's other people. However, the difference is these bills, these they know about these things, and they have repetitively been chairs of these committees, and they presented these bills, you know, and they can't get anything through. But I think that it's not equal protection of the law because I have this group of people and this group, and they done even worse, but they have rights to get out where they didn't when you look at the circumstances. So that's definitely not equal protection of the law. I mean, if you can show me how it is, you know, and you know, you can't get in the red tape. It is what it is. So here's the thing. What you need to do is if Kevin Haran or Juan Barnett can't get the job done, you know, if I call somebody to do a job and they're, you know, have tried to do it 6 times and they haven't got the ball across the goal line, or they keep moving the goalpost or whatever the case may be, then I need to get somebody that can get the job done. You know, I need the person that can get the roof on the house properly. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. But it's really reasonable to think, you know, that you have two classes of people, and that's not equal protection. So we're looking at that. Also, I'm looking at the habitual offender laws that are in Mississippi. You know, and these guys, this Kevin Haran and Juan Barnett, they have email addresses like Haran's is kharan at house.ms.gov, kharan at house.ms.gov, and Juan Barnett's is J Barnett, BARNETT at senate.ms.gov. Okay, so if you're down there and you're listening and you're trying to follow this and you want to do something, you need to get these people and that care about you or whoever, whatever you can do, and you need to start emailing these people because guess what? Do you know what they are down there when they're dealing with these bills? They don't care because they're not the ones doing the time. They're like bulls in a china shop, you know? And what they've done is they've hijacked the damn prisoners' rights, and, you know, and the state governments together are doing it, you know, the executive, judicial, and legislative branch, okay? And, you know, for example, you know, it's clear, like I said, everybody knows about Stephen Hayne and McGarry, these here medical examiners that clearly tailored their testimony on the stand in order to get a conviction despite it not being true. Okay. and they know all this, but nothing's been done. Why do you look at the big pink elephant in the living room and keep going around it? And if you're in this category, you can't let the sand slip through the hourglass. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's going to do. Either you want to do something or you don't want to do nothing. Either you're part of the solution or you're part of the problem. And it's a long process, but when you get multiple people that are exposing this, then that's what you're going to have. You're going to have a better reception. But I think that to re-elect the committee chairman for the House and Senate simply because they cannot get the ball in the end zone. It's ridiculous. And it's like this every time somebody files something in court in Mississippi, and these guys are doing it in court, or what they may have lawyers or whatever, and the lawyers do it, but you get a report back and it rings hollow. It ain't got it don't mean nothing. They come up with this stuff and they don't give you nothing to hang your hat on. And it's really ridiculous, but there are several things going on, and I think in the legislature this year, if I am not mistaken, there is a repealer set up on the parole statute 4773, which triggers a bunch of other parole statutes. So what the repealer is when they pass a law, for those who don't know, when they pass a law, they may say, okay, we'll pass the law as it is for the next 4 years. In 4 years, all this is void. We have to come back and look at it again. So this is that year on these parole statutes. And really, there's a lot more that can be done, but these people are not, and they're going to do as little as possible. They're not, it really don't matter. Last year they tried to go in and they're going to probably come back because it got turned down, but they're going to go in and probably put this one clause where you can petition the judge if you are violent to be eligible for parole, the same way that non-violent can. They're trying to push that, but what they need to do is get these people between 1995 and 2014 first, okay, and get them eligible for parole. And that's not saying to the people that these people are getting out of prison. All it says is that they are eligible to have their case reviewed by another layer, which is the parole board. Okay. And there's different ways they can do all kind of stuff, prior to them getting out. They can go through this or that. There's a lot of things that can be done. So, if you're down there and fighting, I'm trying to help the powerless fight the powerful. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we will be getting some more information out and working on it. You can get in touch with me. My email, you know what it is. All right, thank you for watching.